Sana, I am excited to talk about this topic, at the same time hesitant, but this is what I am being called to ask, or what I asked to speak about, and that answer was to talk about this. And by asking, I mean like tuning in, asking myself, asking the Almighty, because I'm here to teach myself. That's like the big thing. Anything that I say on these YouTube videos is like for myself, because you can only teach what you know. And the other thing is to be of encouragement, to serve and uplift humanity. And so I feel that my life is asking me to step into political roles. And so talking about these topics are not something that are talked about amongst people with political what's the word I'm looking for? In a political role, I guess. For those who are in political roles, this isn't often talked about. And as I am wanting to further my career or even start my career, I am being fully transparent. And that's my goal, is to be fully transparent, because politics are full of people that are not transparent. So I'm here to be transparent from the beginning. And if I continue down this path, or as I continue down this path, these videos, people can go back. I'm not going to hide anything. Fully vulnerable and transparent, because I trust myself and I trust my heart. Have I been perfect? No. But the topic I want to talk about is psilocybin mushrooms, and talking about my relationship with them. Because when I first started exploring even marijuana and then mushrooms, I was not introduced to it. First started smoking ganja when I was like 13 or 13. Wow. And didn't smoke a lot, just every once in a while. And then I had this huge spiritual experience that got fit into a dogma, a doctrine of a church. So I had this spiritual experience, but it got shoved into a doctrine. And I respect people's dogmas and doctrines, but it was not for me. And so when I began to move outside of this Christian dogma or doctrine, I began to explore. And I've kept my relationship with Christ, just not in a way that somebody else is guiding me, not in a doctrine. And so when I started to explore these plant medicines and these plant healers, it's not always healing, because it's like a relationship, And when I first when I became Christian, by the way, I stopped everything, didn't drink, didn't smoke. And then when I was exiting out, I started to explore these things. And I didn't have a good relationship. Nobody guided me in a relationship. Our culture is party culture. Our culture is drug culture, You take these drugs they're called drugs. You take them and you experience an altered state of mind, and it's almost like escapism. And the first time I took psychedelic mushrooms, I was also taking other drugs, ecstasy, and I took mushrooms, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. Absolutely horrible. I was taking it with a gentleman that I love, but was not appropriate to guide me. I was taking it with some friends and a girlfriend, and his girlfriend, not my girlfriend. And it was just weird. And I was also in a deep process of figuring out myself, and it just was horrible. I just will go there. It was a horrible, scary experience. And I took a lot of mushrooms. We didn't even weigh it out. I just took a handful. However, it was so scary, yet I learned from it. And that learning, that yearning for truth, that's what I was pursuing, was truth. And that yearning, I kept wanting to take more and more of them. So I did. And it got scary for me. I had an existential experience. Nothing made sense anymore. I totally lost myself. And that happened because, one, I didn't have a solid ground. I didn't have a good relationship with myself. And I approached these mushrooms in a totally disrespectful manner. And so I continued to take them, but just it was like a relationship that was a bad relationship because of me. And then as I continued, I was like, well, if these things are teaching me this, what else has to teach me? And that's when I went to Peru and partook in ayahuasca. And by the grace of the indigenous people down there, they taught me how to respect the plants. They took me under their wing and taught me. What an honor and a blessing. And yet, I never had corrected my relationship with the mushrooms. And I still have so much healing, because if I ever took them, even after learning how to respect, it just doesn't feel good. But ayahuasca taught me how to approach these things. Plant spirits, how to approach them. Tree spirits taught me about my relationships. And it made me a better person. I had healing. And I've had healing with mushrooms, but it was always hard. It was like learning the hard way. And so as psychedelics begin to enter our culture more and more through psychedelic therapy, Denver, it's decriminalized. This is entering your culture. And so surely we politicians have to have a stand on this. But how do we righteously integrate these plant spirits into our society without it being about profit? Because we are capitalistic. So if everything in our society drives off of making money, how do we introduce these plant spirits into our culture without it being about money? And that's something that I'm excited to work with these plant spirits and to figure out a harmonious balance. And so my big thing about this video is that if you haven't taken psychedelic mushrooms and you're going to, or if you're already taking them, talk to them, speak to them, set the space for them, court them, invite them. Don't just take it to get messed up. Don't just take it to go have an experience. Treat them with honor and respect and reverence, because they are our ancestors and they can heal parts of ourselves that we are unaware of. And that's the dangerous part, is it can make you face things within yourself that if you're not ready to face, it can bring it to you and it can be horrible. Don't drink and take mushrooms. Don't combine it. If you're with them, sit with them. I would say tobacco is good. Invite the tobacco in. This is the same thing with tobacco, actually. Don't get messed up off of some mushrooms, treat them, honor them. And I'm saying this because tonight I am having a ceremony with a traditional maestro, with a traditional medicine man who has the curandero in his lineage. It's passed on, and he has been passed on to him, and he has lineage, and I'm going into this ceremony to heal my relationship with the mushrooms, and to have healing within myself, to align myself more with my path and myself and my body. And so it's kind of nerve-wracking telling the world this, but I want to be transparent. I don't own shrooms, I don't have them, so it's like I'm not too worried about the legality, So that's my message. It's to honor them and respect them. Respect is everything. Set the space for them to come. Sit with yourself, internal space, invite them into your temple properly. Don't go eat crap and then invite them in with the crap. Keep your vessel pure. Keep this outside space pure, clean. Honor them, respect them, talk to them. That is the best advice I can give for anybody who is gonna experiment and set a ceremony. I'm not saying you have to set intentions, but set intentions for yourself. If you want to set intentions for the ceremony, by all means do that. But at least set an intention with yourself. I am gonna do my work while they're in my temple. I'm gonna connect with them, something. Stay aligned. Stay righteous. May all beings of this earth, human, non-human, plants, come to a greater harmony. May we come to respect life and respect other beings so that we can live in a greater harmony. I don't need there to be always perfect peace. That's insane. And but let's learn how to live. Let's learn how to compromise. And let us come into a greater harmony. Sanam.